Where are the controls to change the name?
I think well, I'm on an iPad, but for me, it's on the upper right under more. Wait, is that where it is? Hold on.
Yeah, no, you know how to, Chris, you know where if you put your cursor to the top where it's got the blue box with the 3 dots,
Yes.
click on that, and then towards the below, it says rename.
Oh, rename, there we are. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Apologies, it is 5:39 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The Youth and Outreach Committee meeting of Northwest San Pedro Neighborhood Council will now come to order. Welcome, everyone. And speaking of which, I should pull up the agenda, which is always useful, which is, of course, relatively brief and relatively simple. But let's start by taking roll. I will just use the names that I see illuminated here of the committee members. John Barbera.
Yes, 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 yes.
And Lori Jacobs. I see Lori Jacobs. And Kelly Miller.
Here.
And Dr. Thomas Norman.
Present.
And Mr. Alec Norman.
Present.
Angela Sumner.
Here.
Adrianita Reyes Cruz, welcome back.
Here.
And our esteemed guest, Joseph Lopez.
Present.
Okie dokie. That out of the way, again, let me go. So many web pages. All righty. So welcome and introductions to everyone. We know each other. Item number 2 would be public comment on non-agenda items. If anyone else would like to speak, please do so now. Well, Joseph Lopez, your hand has been raised, so let me go to you.
Terrific. Do I start now?
Yes, please.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Joseph Lopez. I am a resident of Wilmington, graduate of San Pedro High School, class of 2011, and I am the state ambassador at West Cal Academy. West Cal Academy is a 501c3 nonprofit that helps students secure careers in their field of major before they graduate. And the reason I'm here today is because President Vale gave me an invitation to come talk to you all during public comments. Also, I would like to take the time just to reintroduce myself for those who don't know who I am. I just split away very briefly from our personal branding workshop, which we do here on the campus of SoCal Rock in Torrance. Just a little brief point about that. We give students resume writing tips, interview skills tips, and very popular now, social media responsibility tips as it relates to their employment. You know, what you post on Instagram or Facebook may come back to haunt you. And I can see that reaction from Ms. Sumner that may be of use to maybe some folks. Not exactly to you, but maybe someone you know. So I just wanted to introduce myself. We have another office in San Pedro. It's at the Arcade Building on 6th Street. We actually just did an event promoting careers in the maritime industry with the Inland Boatmen's Union at Alta Sea at the Port of Los Angeles this past Saturday. We intend to do more outreach events. We intend to use those outreach events to invite students to enroll into our 16-week course program, which is approved by the California Department of Education. That means students will earn 5 units of high school credit. Transcript record, actually. They'll be learning things like resume writing. They'll be having 10 different jobs, 10 different lab opportunities like welding, like registered dental assistant, and things of that nature, and also white collar options, and really giving them strategic strategies on how to apply for university. We've had students earning full ride scholarships going through our program. We feel it's of great use to the students who we all serve in San Pedro. This is an introduction. This is not the first. This is not the last. And thank you very much, Mr. President, for allowing me to speak to your esteemed body. And if anyone would like to get in touch with me, my cell phone number is 310-935-9801. And my email address is the following, joseph@westcalacademy.com. I'll spell that out. It's JOSEPH@WESTCALACADEMY.com. And I know, Chris, you have my contact information. If you definitely have it, if you could forward that to these folks, I'd greatly appreciate it. Again, thank you for your evening.
Absolutely, yes. I do have his contact info if anyone needs to have that forwarded. I have that in my address book. And thanks very much. We appreciate, organizations who take an interest in are looking to help establish kind of new career and development pathways for our young workers and workers of the future. On the topic of under non-agenda items, I guess I'd just like to throw out there, since it's kind of getting back on the radar, I would hope you would all be aware that our COVID numbers countywide and in different areas are on the rise. That always presents the potential for disruption. Clearly, we're not back in person with respect to the neighborhood council, but also with respect to the potential of any events we might have, which are coming up later in the agenda, and anything we might want to plan in the future. That's just something to keep an eye on. Hopefully it doesn't get above the medium level it is now, but hope is not clearly how the virus operates. So Lori, go ahead.
I had something on not agenda items.
Sure.
So first of all, I have a hard out at 6:30 for another meeting. So if I disappear, that's why. I just want to clarify, Chris. So I had some problems with my Facebook account a couple of months ago, and so had to create a new one. I'm no longer linked to, don't have the ability under the new one to post anything on our neighborhood council Facebook page, which is why I've been copying you on most things I'm sending. Okay, so if I send it to you and Christina, that's so you can post, but I haven't really seen much being posted on there. And then I just want to understand what the guidelines are, since I used to sort of be involved with posting things on or sending information to Christina for the website. I still periodically go through. I sent her an email last week on some things that needed to be cleaned up or links no longer worked, and I'm copying you. Am I allowed to send her things to post on the website, or do you want it, as long as I copy you, or do you want me to ask you first?
No. If you copy, that's fine, because what she does is, again, if there's something that's, kind of discretionary, she'll just run it by me. And again, I never had anything that was a problem. I saw the stuff that you copied, and it didn't occur to me that I would need to post that, but I think I can flag your name to pop up as a priority, so that I'll know to look that those things need to go in there. But I'll also talk to her. I don't know if there's any, and I guess I can double check with rules to see if there's anything that would preclude a committee member from getting those privileges back in terms of posting. I don't know why that wouldn't be the case. So
I just want to make sure that I'm kosher over here.
Yeah. And again, if the social media police come after us, we'll just, Yeah,
because I used to always try to post one or two things every week just to keep us in everybody's, fresh in their minds. And I believe Facebook also connects with Instagram, which you do.
Yeah.
And so with work, I'm working on something that I think is very important, and that's an eviction and tenant rights flyer, because of the eviction moratorium ending soon. At my job, we have great concerns, and it's being predicted anywhere from 60 to 100,000 people starting in June and July might start to be evicted, as if we don't have enough people experiencing homelessness yet. So I'll send that to you so that you can post that flyer. I'll certainly, I touched on it during the homelessness liaison report, but I think it's pretty darn important for us to get that
No,
information.
I agree. I want to say that, that's kind of a topic that I think deserves, to be on the radar, to be in kind of heavy rotation in terms of, I mean, it's a critical situation in our, community. So I think pretty much whenever we're meeting, whenever doing something, updates on that and the latest information is, we need to make people just constantly aware of it. And
So do I have your okay to ask her to put it on the right-hand side of the website where we show flyers once I have it approved from my office?
Sure. And again,
Okay.
what'll happen is that, pretty much at all hours, whenever she happens to work on things, she may just text me and say, hey, I sent you an email with something. Is it okay? And I'll, I usually don't have a problem just giving her the go ahead. So Christina is good about getting my attention on those things.
And Chris, at the next board meeting, you might want to remind everybody on the board that if they know of information that they feel should be shared, they should be sending it to you. I know we've said it
Yeah.
in the past, but it doesn't.
Yeah, you're
hurt to
right.
Bonk them on the head with it.
No, absolutely. Yeah. And it's, people may have things in the moment, and then of course, everybody goes back to doing what they're doing and it gets to the back burner. But yeah, there's things like that where, I mean, that's the whole point of us having these channels, that we should, if you give people things to look at, even if it's not their particular thing, it gets them in the habit of checking out what you're doing.
Well, also it includes the naysayers who say outreach doesn't do any outreach. So
Well, yeah, well, we'll deal with them later.
I know who would say that. Okay, anyway, thank you.
No problem. Thank you. John, go ahead.
Just to tap on what you were talking about, the COVID. My wife last week, the hospital was at, on Tuesday, they were at 15 inpatients. And as of today, they were down to 8. So it depends on the area, but in most cases, even UCLA Hospital, because that's part of them now, Florence Memorial, they were down also starting today. So there's, it just fluctuates depending where, the heavy scale. One of the things that they are worried about, and I don't know if you guys have seen it on the news, is the monkey pox.
Like we needed another one.
Yeah, that's out right now, and I think it's somewhere in the Middle East, but it's not good. They've had some things where it's actually killed a few people.
John, the COVID numbers today from LA County were over 12,000 cases, 14,000 deaths. So yes, the seriousness of hospitalization and deaths is down, but it doesn't mean that people who are getting this aren't still getting it. And apparently this new strain's much more contagious. But yeah, over 12,000. I just hope we don't see us going backwards on this.
Yeah, I think everybody's pretty touchy, which is a good thing. We should all, like, if there's an uptick, we should all be, I've had some work and stuff that's as busy as I've been. Some things have been scaled back. So that's just something I want to, in general, we should be reminding each other to don't forget our best practices and all that stuff. Does anybody else have a non-agenda contribution to make? All right, hearing none, let's move on to item 3, which would be a little bit more update and planning on our Bogdanovich movie in the park, which is kind of one of the things that got my attention with respect to these COVID numbers. I have not heard yes or no from city clerks. I'm always looking for the emails that they copy me when they respond to Melanie in terms of approval for those things. So it's kind of pending, and until I get that, I've been hesitant to make any further plans with until they say to go for it. Essentially, I don't want to give food trucks or Bogdanovich themselves or anybody any reason to act until I know we're got.
Did you ask Melanie if she's got any updates? Sometimes she talks to people there and may not have anything in writing. I
have not, honestly, I saw her on Saturday, but it was a different context and it just honestly didn't come up, strangely enough. But I also feel like if there'd have been hot news, she certainly would be one to let me know.
All right, you're cutting it close to promote this.
Yeah, I know. And that's, in fact, now once we jump off of this, I will shoot her a text and see, and just to double check. But we're in that sort of holding pattern. I think we have a pretty good outline in terms of supplies. Melanie mentioned, again, once we get the go ahead, to just let her know what sort of snacks we're looking for. Since those are already budgeted, we can go from any of our approved sources. But
I have a few trucks too.
Yeah.
a couple of taco trucks and then buns too. So
Yeah, I got some feedback from another event planner that buns wasn't necessarily a great idea because, and I realized as a customer when I go seek them out that their wait times are pretty long. And that if you have a few people waiting in the parking lot over by Bank of America, that's one thing. If you had like 100 people or 200 who all wanted their food and it might take 10 or 15 minutes to get a burger, that might not, be a bunch of happy campers. But it also means that we can simply, kind of cast a wide net and see who is. So that was just some professional advice that I got on that particular topic, but this is somebody who does the food truck thing all the time, so they know for what.
well, I have a couple of taco trucks that are really good.
Yeah, and
around
that's just a
everybody.
good crowd pleaser and easy
Yeah.
to knock out.
Especially the movie's Hispanic, basically. So that would be.
Well, yeah, everybody loves tacos.
Yeah.
Okay, well, honestly, I just look at item number 4 and somehow it was prescient and out of the way, but is there any other comment input on item 3? And hearing that, okay, well, considering we kind of talked about it before, I guess we could put it in, maybe wrap 4 and 5 together, and gives me the idea of maybe putting something together, maybe just like a graphic, infographic or something like that, for social media that talks about COVID uptake, maybe a kind of reminder to not relax too much, to kind of remember maybe a community sort of thing is to remember your best practices and help prevent, pre-flatten the curve or something like that. But yeah, honestly, it's interesting because I don't remember exactly what I was thinking when I put that on the agenda, but here we are. So I don't know. I guess maybe that's all there is to say about that. We've kind of covered it. And then on to number 5, there's been it's gradual. Sometimes it'll take a nice picture or a more kind of pressing story. I was thinking about doing a piece about a lot of neighborhoods are having slurry seal. They're having their pavement redone. Ours was redone today, so I got a couple of pictures. I may throw something up about that. But it does, I guess going back to Lori's point at the beginning, and the kind of relevance of COVID, there are sort of just neighborhood-centric things. If something is happening in front of your house, it can be happening across San Pedro. So if you guys ever want to just text me or email just a suggestion about something, I mean, it doesn't take very long for me just to hammer out like a multicolored. I have a software on my phone basically that's kind of a cheap layout thing, and I can put something together pretty quickly, just for the sake of even giving people a heads up of like getting ready for summer, or anything like that you have an idea that might be interesting or relevant to you. Chances are it'll have gotten somebody else's attention. So just drop me a line on any of those things, and I can sit down and hammer something out. Lori, go ahead.
All right, couple things. One, Chris, if you could reach out to the parks in Northwest, ask them to send you flyers or a list of programs they are going to have in the spring and the summer. Those would be really good things to post. Normally we'd put those in a newsletter. And I wonder if you'll be able to attend the grand opening of the skate park. And I can already tell you, Joe's already promoting, his skate park that he did so much to open. I think if we could get in front of it, and you could get information from John. I think the Northwest San Pedro Neighborhood Council was very instrumental in getting that park done. And Joe can take all the credit he wants, but we need to get in front of it and promote the work that John and his committee's done. And Chris, maybe you could find out the dates and you could be there to take some pictures yourself.
Yeah, actually, on that, I was looking at a video on Instagram yesterday. I intend to reach out to, and I talked to him real briefly, Andy and April, about that, in terms of, I don't know how much they have done or what the intent is, but they were talking about a documentary film. I think there's it's a fun story anyway. It's something, it's 2014 that the thing closed. So it's been such a long time.
We're included in that story.
Yeah, exactly. So I think there's a good tie-in for everybody. I mean, ultimately it's going to be, when the first person sort of legitimately rolls in that on the concrete, it'll be that success that, you know, has been such a long time coming, that it really is a great opportunity to sort of assert like kind of the cool side. We do a lot of things at the neighborhood council that maybe aren't the most interesting, or like you have to kind of dig a little bit to find the relevance to your life. But like, you know, everybody sees a kid on a skateboard, and that's just a really exciting way to kind of demonstrate the things we get
And
involved
it's a
in.
youth opportunity, because it'd be great to see the youth skateboarders, the first ones testing the new park.
Yeah,
Although John's son is a skateboarder, right? Or just a roller skater. Okay. But I just think it'd be great if we had some local students that we could kind of interview and do a story on.
yeah, and then it ties in really well, because again, I know that April is a filmmaker and a skater, and Andy has been good about keeping the Instagram channel going, because obviously for skaters and people that age, that's the kind of where they go to get their news anyway. So I think there would be good opportunity for myself personally, but also the committee and the board to kind of help push that, you know, from both ends, basically to highlight our own participation, but just to help get the story out to a wider audience anyway. And that's something I personally would like to see
Give
celebrated.
them a flyer, Chris, announcing the grand opening.
Yeah, I will.
I
And
haven't
I'll,
seen anything, but
I haven't either. Because I got an email in to Andy.
Yeah.
in fact, Chris, you know what you could do is you could send Andy and April our logo and say, hey, if you're making a flyer to announce the grand opening, here's our logo you can include in there.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think that's it's good branding to have essentially endorsements, and you know, and also a reminder, it's like, you know, we're behind you and have been behind you, so it's a good time to celebrate that. But yeah, I was literally just looking at something that they had posted about getting the concrete painted and, you know, being in production of this film, and it's like, this is the time to go, because summer will be here very quickly, and hopefully it'll be full of kids very soon.
Do we have an opening date? Is there a date set?
Yeah, I didn't believe so. But you know, there's always like there's always an additional piece of red tape. It's a very big
Right.
school.
There were a bunch of skateboarders outside of Target, and well, a couple of them were in Target too, but I went up to them and I've been talking every time I see skateboarders, oh, the new skate park's opening soon. So they're very excited about this.
Yeah, more spots is more spots. And you know, I can remember when there was nothing. I remember, you know, cops like pulling me to the curb just for skating in the street, and now to have like, you know, local government actually getting behind this is just a amazing evolution. Considering that's what kids do. It's like there was a time when it was baseball and, you know, soccer and football and basketball. Now it's skateboarding. So
Chris, can we add to any of the signage or what's being painted on there with our logo there? Just saying, you know, supported by Northwest St. Pedro.
I could
know
ask,
I'm trying
you
to
know,
milk this. But
well, I mean, you know, and again, it's like, if we're there with the money, we're there with the political support. So I think that's a reasonable ask. And of course, you know, I don't think there's going to be any shortage of surfaces to paint on, but you know, they also may have plans for that. But yeah, again, this is just one of the things I want to talk to them about, because I've been, you know, despite not having shown up with a broom, I've been wanting to help out anyway. And so I think there's a bunch of ways I can do that even at this late date.
Kids are out of school in 13 days, so we're gonna need a place to go.
Kelly, you got a stopwatch on that when you're ready to
Oh, are you kidding? I know it down to the hours and minutes.
It's 12 days because the 13th day is over.
Oh, that's right. It's
Well,
Believe
we
me,
have
I'm counting
Tuesday,
too.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Next
And
week
then
is
we have
Memorial
4
Day.
8, and the 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, the 5 days of the last week.
There's only 4 days. Students aren't there on Friday last week.
Oh, ours are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, most of them is June 10th is their last day, Friday.
Yeah. Yes.
everyone mark your
Yeah.
calendars, and
Yeah.
the
We're
streets will
so done. I don't know if it's just because after being on Zoom for 2.5 years, going back full time. I don't know. It's just, it's been a really rough year.
I mean,
Yeah.
everyone I talked to, you know, again, from students, faculty, staff, like everybody's had, I mean, they've been, you know, ground down to the nub, and it's, you know, this particular summer is going to be hopefully just a, you know, a breath of fresh air that people can kind of recharge and come back in the fall and hopefully want to do it. You know, it's just, I've been essentially with my daughter, with my wife, just watching them do that and, trying to help out with that thing. It seems like a rough time just to be involved in school at all. I'm glad that I'm running around trying to make a living out in a different manner.
Well,
I mean, I
we
love
have,
my job. I'm sorry,
Hmm?
go ahead, Don.
I said, we have Andronita.
Yeah, that's
She can
a
tell us,
senior
she can
perspective
tell
right
us
there,
all
and
about the
Alec.
schools right now. What's going on with that?
We have two Pedro High students here, actually.
Adrianita is a college lady.
Oh,
Oh, I know she is,
Sandra
but
is a high
you
school
graduated already?
Yeah, I did.
Everything makes me feel old. Oh, well.
when is one of the colleges done?
Was that?
When is your school done?
Oh.
I've been done. I've just been doing summer classes.
Oh,
No, see,
Summer classes. So
Did you just finish your first year or your second year?
my first year.
First year, okay.
Yeah. But I'm graduating a bit early, so
well, good for
I'll be
you.
getting out 2024.
And Alec, do you have any updates for us on school?
I mean, it's pretty normal now. It's kind of like everyone's already kind of used to going in person, so it's pretty standard. I mean, we have to get tested every week, but we've also gotten used to that, but nothing like major.
I meant, do you have any news to share on colleges?
Oh, well, I got into UC Berkeley, so I'll be going there next year.
Wow.
Wow.
You buried the lead.
That's probably the first of many.
Thank you.
Yeah. Dad help you on that?
That didn't need to.
He shrugs.
little.
Come on.
Oh, there he goes. He goes up a little.
Dad
Yeah,
raised
yeah.
a smart boys way he did.
Yeah.
Alex gets the credit.
Yeah, I don't think you don't just accidentally find yourself at those gates, right?
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
Definitely.
great school.
good deal. All right, everybody. Well, it seems like we've kept it, despite starting late, we got a pretty tidy run through our agenda here. Does anybody else, I mean, have anything else I'd like to add or?
Well, I guess I'm just kind of curious. Are we like ready to go once this event gets approved? Because we have a lot to do in a short amount of time. Like I know that Melanie's ready to order the popcorn. We all saw and approved, like the popcorn looks great. But like, do food trucks require a lot of notice? I don't know. Does somebody have a master list?
The park's
Well-
handling the food trucks.
Okay.
But what we need really is a plan for the promotion of this, the
Right.
printing of the flyers, the distributing of the flyers. You're obviously not going to take them to schools because they're closing, but they should be posted all over San Pedro. Make sure that, not just Northwest.
If we can get them before the last day of school, I can get them to all the students.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
I was
that's
gonna
got-
say we have time. They just need to get to the schools, like by the last week.
And also you have First Thursday in downtown San Pedro, that if you could post them up throughout there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say?
Yeah, we don't have them for this weekend because it's Fleet
Are
Week.
are we still gonna do a banner or do we nix that because of the time crunch?
Well, where was I? I was at some event recently in the last week, and I know that there are resources to get it done. I mean, if it comes down to the time versus the cost, because we have that budget as a line item, I think there are options for people who can print on relatively short notice. If they're not willing to accept what our budget is, then we can forego that. But if it means that I just simply spend more time, I can take more paper flyers, more places. So it would be good to have something up at, I guess I know we can do it at Willenberg on Western.
The guy on Western by Stuff Pizza can do it in a couple of days, but Chris, you probably should run the artwork by everybody to make sure the pertinent information is all included.
Yeah, and that's right. I guess not everybody here has seen that. Now what I'll do is I'll just copy everybody an email, because we have what I believe is essentially the final draft. I think all the information is there, but you haven't seen it, and I just will turn it into
Can
a.
you share it
it's a-
can you share it tonight? Because it was still
actually-
missing some pertinent information.
Where do
We
I
need
have
to
it stored?
explain to people what some of, a sock drive. People don't know what a sock drive is.
Right, but there's only so much information that we can put, like legibly or on a,
That's why you got to make the picture smaller. That's why I sent you samples from the last couple of events. If you really want to have a sock drive, you have to explain, bring, drop
Or a
off.
pair of new socks.
Right.
New socks, yeah.
God knows what she'll get if you don't say new socks. And
Well, you think
Well,
they'll
my
come?
unmatched ones.
we
Yeah,
got 162 pairs of socks from just like 30 some Girl Scouts. So
sure. They'll
Did you
think it's
save
a
the
sock
box?
drive and they'll
Yeah.
come
Sorry, I'm
dressed
waiting for
up
the
in
heat to
Bobby
get hot
socks
on
and
this
everything,
game.
and they'll think it's a sock drive like that. So,
yeah. So, but other things like you can't just, you've got to explain, that there's the Dean Dana is going to be bringing, their critters, their spiders and the whatever. But
right,
Chris,
from the
you
nature
gotta
center,
have
right?
and other things I sent you, people need to know that there'll be food trucks or they could bring their dinner. But one of the most important things is dress warmly because it's always colder than people expect up there. Bring a blanket, something, lawn chairs. I mean, I know you think there's not enough room, but you have to have the pertinent information.
Can you see where's the camera? So what if we took
Oh.
out the second picture and just left the Disney Encanto
Yeah.
and put it more in the middle and then had stuff on top and on bottom? Do you see
But
how
you
I'm
said
doing
in-
it in my head?
I agree. And you said movie starts at 8, but we always encourage people to start coming much earlier to get stuff from the food trucks. And you're going to have a table there. You want people to engage with the neighborhood council. So you don't want people showing up at 8.
No, that's on here. It says at 6 and then in smaller to the right, it says film begins at 8.
At 8, yeah.
Okay, I would just say it starts at sunset, but regardless, you want to put more information like the first flyers that we had so that people, I've seen people going, I had no idea it would be so cold up here, and they left early because they were too cold.
yeah, I mean, I don't know how much, I mean, I wouldn't have thought to tell people that it was going to be cold outside. I would hope that they have some sense, but definitely not, just looking at it, and it's been a couple of days since I looked at the layout. I like the way it looks, but obviously we can lose the larger picture of the house for the sake of probably a set of bullet points in that same area with the more descriptive stuff.
I've hated to have to jam information in the last few, but because you want it to look all pretty.
Yeah.
But information's more important, and you may think it's common sense, but it could be 80 degrees during the day and in the evening and up there with
Especially
the wind
there,
factor. Okay, so it's not really.
There's a big wind tunnel there, so it's very cold.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
cold there.
Even
That's a
during
good
the
point.
summer on the hottest days, Friendship Park gets cold.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
well, actually I can make that because I do also have to generate a so this is obviously a portrait for the print flyers. I need to make a version of this that's a landscape for banner anyway, so I can which would actually be easier to do without that second picture. So I will,
you don't have to have all that information on the banner, Chris.
yeah, well, no,
Yeah.
right, but just in the process of opening the file up and digging at it again.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's a good idea. And on this week, I've got a little bit of breathing room to be able to sit down with that. But I will I'll copy everybody on the drafts of those things. And again, I've hesitated to sort of reach out to printers unless I know essentially we're going to have the money to do it. But I think I will probably ask people about turnaround times at the very least and just see what the ballpark is.
John,
So-
didn't you get that information from Priority One
For what?
on price and turnaround time for the flyers?
Yeah, he could do them in a day.
Yeah, I meant really more for the
Yeah,
banner.
the
banners
flyers,
are-
yeah, Herb can do them in a day.
And we
You
like
know.
to support local business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think priority ones worked fine in the past, right?
And yeah, how many are we looking to make again? 200?
I think
Flyers?
Yeah,
like, that'll be like 4 boxes of paper.
or did we say 150?
Angela's eyes are real big. She thinks we need.
Well, wait, I thought we were bringing them to the schools. Are we bringing them to just like post at the school or to hand out to students?
Because you need like 300 at least for a school.
For one school.
Yeah, I wouldn't-
We never distribute to the whole school. What we do is
Yeah,
Yeah.
we give a some to poke for them to put around the school. And we
Okay.
give one in each of the teachers' boxes.
Yeah.
But yeah, because they just get thrown away and they're
Yeah,
all
like-
school campus if we give them all.
yeah.
Yeah. If
That's a-
everybody took one, then they would drop half of them on the curb.
And then we'd be killing trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. We have to use resources wisely.
Yes.
All right.
You
Yeah.
know, also,
We
I
can
don't know if
also
it's
print them on our
related-
Instagrams for our schools.
Yeah, I
Put
was
'em
gonna
on our
say, don't
Instagrams
the
and
schools have social media that you could?
we have Instagram and Facebook.
Well, and I think now there's been something, speaking of social media, there's been something that's in the past few months that they put together where now different, or at least two Instagram accounts can co-sponsor a post. So it's like I think it called a collaboration. So for instance, if it were Dodson or, you know, Taper or Park Western or whatever, you could essentially tie the same post together so that when someone followed one, they'd see it from either one. If they liked it, it would show up on both accounts. So I think I might try and reach out and do something like that when we finalize the.
Can you tag schools in a post?
Yeah, you can absolutely do that.
Thanks.
But the problem is like people who follow them, but not you, wouldn't automatically see it. The collaboration thing means that if you have two separate sets of people, they both see the same post because they follow either of the two accounts. So.
Now, when we send it out, can we send it out on our e-news that everybody reads all the emails
yeah.
that we've gotten?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's,
You know,
I
we
think
got-
those would be our basics.
Yeah,
But you
you
really
know.
want to get it on the Facebook pages, like, you know, ours has, you know, like 700 people. The San Pedro page has like 16,000 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the type of thing and that once it's on the San Pedro page, that's a good word of mouth. That's something that people can, you know, obviously they can share it to people who aren't even on the page. So.
Mhm. Okay, so we're ready to motivate once we get the approval to get
Yeah,
this.
and I think the
all-
only question mark really is the banner. And if we can't get that one, then we can just, you know, put a little
yeah.
extra effort in the other stuff. And really, honestly, compared to the number of people who will see it on Instagram or whatever, if honestly, if I simply hashtag it Encanto, millions of people will see it, as opposed to whatever number might actually drive by the banner and slow down enough to actually read it. So I think there may be more time and cost-effective ways to reach a larger number anyway, but you know, we'll do it if we can.
And Chris, being that you opened this meeting talking about the large spread of COVID, nowhere on there do we encourage people to possibly wear masks and wear N95. I know it's outdoors. Are we being responsible? I mean, I know the city clerk's not requesting it, but just asking.
It's, well, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if in the next few days, because I do think in some places it is actually being recommended officially, but not required. That's just another line. I don't think it's out of the question, and there's no technical reason why we couldn't throw, you know, like consider, you know, social distancing and masking, or, you know, something to that effect, like a reminder, essentially.
Yeah, and you guys should bring hand sanitizer for your table and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Any of these symptoms, stay home. That's what I saw at one of my favorite restaurants. If you've had any of these symptoms, you should not be coming here. Stay home.
Yeah.
And you know, the good thing is I haven't heard of anybody else doing a movie night yet.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't seen that, and you know.
So we could get a, you know, usually there's like, you know, the Iowa has something, the Port's running something. So, you know, we're the first ones, so maybe we'll get a good attendance.
Yeah, I mean, they've been doing so
Yeah.
much just to get ready for Fleet Week. I think that's kind of like all hands, like literally all hands on deck for them, for that stuff.
If you are able to get an okay and get any of these flyers printed for Fleet Week, I'm volunteering down there on Saturday. We can get them to Elise at the chamber.
Yeah, I'll be there Friday and Monday for the port. So,
Right.
I'll be there all weekend. I love Fleet Week.
well,
What
cool.
are they
Yeah.
Yeah, volunteer
doing
with
for
me.
week? I've never been.
You volunteer, you get a t-shirt and a free hot dog.
I do that.
What do you,
Okay,
What
I'll talk
is
to
it?
you offline.
what do they do?
What do you do for volunteering?
I've never been to Fleet Week.
Oh, it's
It's
so
just
wonderful.
People from everywhere come. There's a lot of sailors in town, and how do you describe it? There's just a lot of vendors and
It's a military themed festival. Kind of,
But
you know.
There's the whole military theme festival, but then
Music.
there's bands
was a
all
Navy
over
brat.
Yeah.
town.
yeah,
Yeah, there's bands playing. I mean, it really is kind of
Okay.
a carnival, might be a little strong, but it's basically a gigantic expo with a variety of entertainment, all kind of supported and themed on military.
There's
Where is it located?
flyovers.
Yeah,
downtown San Pedro.
Oh,
Yeah, right
okay.
there at the
Like Sixth
Iowa.
Street?
Yeah, from downtown up and down the 6th and 7th Street, and
Oh,
then
okay.
I imagine they're setting it up again in the parking lot of the Iowa.
Right. It's going to
I
basically
don't know
be
what
from
I'm
Iowa
thinking
down to
about.
the
I'm
Lane
going
Beach.
out of town.
Oh.
Well,
all excited. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm going to San Diego.
Well, I missed the volunteer training because I'm out of town, but I'm gonna pick up everything on Thursday, so. But you can, they've been promoting it on social media for a few weeks now.
I don't know why it didn't pop up on mine, but
It's a big
Yeah, well,
deal.
it's definitely, there's a lot to see.
oh, next time I'll have to go. Maybe they'll have Fleet Week while I'm in San Diego.
Well, you
They
can
used-
go to the welcome party on Thursday night.
Oh, okay. Where is that going to be? That's a,
It's like a pumped up First Thursday.
oh, okay.
It's
Okay.
like First
do that.
Thursday, but bigger, and there's kind of sailors everywhere, and the bands kind of have a 40s theme sometimes. It's really cute.
Oh, okay.
I like that. The sailors are in town.
They're hard
that,
to-
Dawn.
they're hard to miss.
I don't know. My daddy told
That's
me
why
to stay
Angela and
away
I
from
are
the
going.
sailors.
Just,
Sweet
just,
young boys
just
and
the way,
sailors.
just
Are
the
we
way it
still
sounded. The
recording?
sailors are in town.
Well, us single ladies, you know,
We're recording still, Lori.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah, that's not this bad. Yeah.
that's the truth.
We're promoting
it
it.
is.
There's lots of military.
Are they
friends.
gonna have their big bell bottoms on too and everything? Is
They
that
have
how-
little
Oh, yeah.
sailor hats. It's cute. I mean, they're like 18-year-olds, you know.
You're very much like
I
18.
love the dress blues.
It's a very festive event, and I think all the art galleries are going to be open and promoting.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah.
There'll be food trucks down at the event, but also for the welcome party on Thursday.
Yeah, and if
a real good
anybody's
time.
available and they're still looking for a few more volunteers, you just contact Elise Swanson at the Chamber of Commerce. She said she
Yeah.
has a few spots open, and if not, just go down there and have a good time.
It'll be fun. We can do that on Thursday.
Well, all right.
Cool. Now that we've promoted Fleet Week to ourselves.
Yes. Spread the word.
But I don't think we can promote Fleet Week, can we, Chris? I guess we can. It's a public event.
It's a public event. It doesn't happen in Northwest. It's not particular to Northwest, but that, that's not really stopped us on a bunch of other things. It's, our tax dollars at work, essentially.
Yeah. No, I
Well,
was
we
more
put it
just
on the
talking about
website.
us encouraging each other to go.
Yeah,
Right. Well, a chance to see each other in person instead of
That's
little
that's
box.
true. Yeah, for now.
we've put it on our website, haven't we before?
I'm pretty sure we have.
I would be
Yeah, I've
surprised if we
seen it.
hadn't. Yeah. It's,
Yeah.
I know people have differences opinion politically, but it is something that happens every year and it's pretty big. So
Yeah.
hard to ignore.
I do remember one first Thursday where I remember it was Fleet Week. I do remember that. So I was down there for that, but that's the only thing I can remember. That's been
Yeah, this
several
one is
years.
falling at the end. It's the week before first Thursday, but we're kind of
Gonna do an extra one.
sort
Well,
of, yeah.
because traditionally Fleet Week is over Labor Day weekend.
That's
So
right.
the kickoff is always the first Thursday of
Oh, it's weird.
September because it's coming into Labor Day, which is the first Monday. It almost always fell that way anyway.
Yeah, and last year it got obviously COVID preempted, and this year I think it's like full steam ahead, which is another nautical pun, which I
Oh.
basically
That's
intended.
Well,
to do.
Chris, are you able to promote that West Cal Academy? Does he have a flyer that we can promote?
I'm sure they will have materials. I will email him and I have his stuff. But yeah, and hopefully, if the only issue really is like, again, I think in terms of like a real punchy social media thing, chances are they'll have something like that. If not that, then the information itself I could, translate into the same deal.
Okay.
Okay, Miami Heat has got to heat up. They're not winning. They're not losing. I mean, they're not winning right now, and I want them to beat the Celtics.
As long as you have your priorities in order over there, Kelly.
These
Hey,
expansion
I am
teams.
a big basketball fan. Big. That's my sport, and I usually have all kinds of recorded games to watch. And I changed from cable to streaming, so I don't have my games. But I had to buy Sling so I could get the playoffs. So I am enjoying it because I love Golden State, and so they're winning. They're 3-0 right now, and Miami's 2-1. I don't care who beats the Celtics as long as the Celtics are beat. I would root for. I think the only other one I probably wouldn't root for would be Chicago.
Well, I'm going to give a shout out to Angela's daughter and Tom's daughter, who were strategic in an event we had a couple of weeks ago down at the Cabrillo Youth Water Sports Center. Okay, we called it the Girl Scout shout out, and great leadership skills, planning. Angela's daughter was Juliet Gordon Lowe, and Thomas's daughter definitely follows in the Norman footsteps of being a true leader. I watched everybody, but it was great to get